Welcome everyone in this new live development video about building an auto battle game. In this video we're gonna make it so when a player fails to have doesn't have an opponent because we're on odd number of players, is gonna fight the latest dead player. So let's head over our in-game player state, and let's open up the match player function in here. So in there we're checking if we have more than 2 players. So if paired players, not paired, if even number of players, and in here we want to check if we still have if the remaining amount of players to match is equal to 1. And if it is, we basically need to do this, but by matching the player with the dead one. So how can we do this? So we're just gonna we're going to promote that to a local variable named temp player, my bad. And we're gonna use that variable instead of dragging the wire all the way down to everywhere we needed it. So we're gonna do it like this. So where do we need it? We need it here, we need it here, and there, and there. So what do we need to do? So we haven't matched that player, so we'll say that that player is now matched. Indeed. We'll say that his opponent is the latest player died. So we're gonna promote this to a variable, latest died player. So the temporary opponent is gonna be the latest died player. We need to be removing this. We basically need to do exactly that, but saying in another way. So we're just gonna make that a function. We need to be using this before everything else. So if we haven't matched the player we're looping through, so if we still have players to match, yep, we're gonna find a player to match. Temp battlefield. So match players, find empty battlefield. So this is gonna be, all of this is gonna be a function, I guess. Find empty battlefield. So how are we gonna call this? Because we need to be calling this here and here. So what does that do? So this is matching player with each other, and this is handling. Yeah, we can't be doing this because this is a local variable here. So we need to be passing this as a parameter, but I'm not even sure we can do this as a reference. I'm not even sure we can do that. If we're collapsing this to a function, yeah, we can pass by reference. So we're just gonna Control Z what we've just done and hit compile all. And we're also gonna pass this as a reference. Can we collapse to function? Can we pass this as a reference? Yeah, we can as well. Temp opponent and temp player. So this is basically setting, this is updating the group of players we need to match or that have been matched. This is finding a battlefield. So this is gonna be like find opponent and battlefield. Find not find opponent. Because we're finding it here. So how are we gonna call this? Handle matched player and find battlefield. That's way too long. But for now it's gonna do the trick. So if we put this here, so this is the list of player to match. This is temporary opponent. So both of these are not gonna be passed by as a reference. The string, the simple string, matched player against opponent, and this is gonna be, oh, we don't want that. Temporary battlefield, we don't want that. We don't need this. Oh yeah, we actually need to be passing this as parameter. If we're hitting compile, it's gonna throw errors at us, but we don't care for now. Already matched players. Oh, why are we passing that value? Oh yeah, because we're storing this, of course. Players, already matched players, remaining players to match. Okay, that sounds silly to do this because we're just adding that player. Yeah, we don't need that. We don't need the already matched players here. We can just put this here. Matched player, we can remove this from here, and we will actually do this here. So if we haven't matched the player we're looping through, we're gonna go ahead and remove it from that. We're gonna add it to the list of players we've matched, or we're gonna remove that comment for now. So if we still have more than 2 players, we're gonna do it like this. So we're looking at a random opponent in the list of remaining opponents. Used battlefields, and we're gonna refresh all nodes once more, and we're gonna add over here, and we're gonna remove this and use matched player instead. Where are we using this? In here, temp player, use battlefield. We're gonna use battlefield like this, and maybe it's not gonna work because we need maybe passing that as parameter is not gonna work. We'll see. Opponent, oh yeah, we forgot to plug the matched player here. Found battlefield is going to be a local variable here. I hit Control Z, yeah, and it froze. Create a local variable named found battlefield. We're going to call this temp bf. This is our temporary best friend. Okay, I'm kidding. Remaining players to match. I don't think we need this. Oh yeah, maybe we have to pass. If we haven't matched that player, we're adding it to the list of matched player, and in here we need to be adding its opponents to the list of matched player. So yeah, we can get rid of this and put this back here and add a new parameter, which is going to be an array of string. Which is going to be passed by as a reference matched players. So we're going to add the player to the list of matched player. So remaining players to match, like this. We're removing the matched player to the pool of remaining players to match, and we're adding it to the pool of we don't want that, to the pool of matched player. We need to compile in order to have it get matched players like this. Oh, players to match, we're removing the opponent as well, and we're adding the opponents to, yeah, that's what we need to do. And we're removing him from here. That's a bit silly to do this, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, like this. So we just want to check that everything is still working like before. So first, if we hit escape, do we have an error? No, we don't. So I don't know who I'm up against. Okay, so we have errors indeed. So if we haven't matched the player, and we still have players to match, we're finding a random. Oh yeah, we didn't remove. Oh yeah. I can find myself fighting myself. So I need to remove the player. This, I need to be doing this before. And so do I need to do this before? Well, can I at least? I can, I can, so I will. Oh yeah, but we only want to do this if we actually match the player. But we will eventually, we will always match the player in the end. Because if we don't match the player, it means the game is over, and we won't be triggering that logic, so we don't care about this. So the temporary player is here. Our local variable, found battlefield, I think we no longer uses this here. So we want to set matched player, and we want to override this. So what if we're, oh, are we still using matched player? And yeah, we're still using these values here. So if I'm hitting plus, these guys are not fighting each other, whereas I was fighting green, but these guys are not even in the yeah, these guys are not even fighting. So in here we're adding the player to the list of match player, then we're removing him from the list of players to match. We still, so yeah, we should be doing this after that all the time. So, but we also need to be doing this here, so that's kinda boring. So if we're adding, oh, I can hit, yeah, I can. So it's working. Everyone went, did a draw. And now we're fighting, and everyone is seeing the units. That guy won, that guy lost, that guy won. Okay, so we are back at where we were when everything was working fine. And now we want to match. So if we only have one player, we're gonna use the latest died player as the opponent. And we're gonna hit play. So we're just gonna try with two players. I think it's gonna work right away. So first of all, we need to be killing blue. Yep, we killed blue. But now, who are we up against? Oh, we're up against no one. Because it doesn't, so the logic doesn't even kick. So are we superior to 2? So we need to match red. Is red contained within this? No. Are we superior to 2? No. So we're not gonna match red. Oh yeah. I'm so dumb. We're doing this before checking that. Oh, we wouldn't even be needing to check this actually. If our logic is correct, we don't even need to check this, because if we are less than 2, it means we're 1. We can't be 0 because we wouldn't be firing that logic if we were 0. So yep, we're dealing damage to blue. Blue is dead. And now we're heading back to blue, but we're not. we don't have our units, which is kind of strange. Which means it's not waiting for our units. So what is it? Which doesn't work. We're properly going to the combat phase, but our units are not broadcasted. And is our enemy units broadcasted? Are our enemy units broadcasted? So I'm killing blue, I mean. That's a victory. Blue had 2 units, that's correct. And then I'm going back up against blue, but I don't have any units, neither does it have one. Neither does it do. I don't even know how to say that. So we are properly doing all of this here. It's correct, or else we wouldn't be finding ourselves fighting blue. But what's not working here is that when we start the combat phase, we are actually so I guess we're not waiting for anyone here, but yet we should. So we're looping through our battlefields, so we need to know if this is correct. So these guys are fighting. It should read our fight here, so it does know our fighting players. Oh yeah, of course. If someone is so yeah, the issue here is that we shouldn't be waiting for dead player combat information, whereas we are, because we already have them. So the combat phase starts. We'll see when that triggers. I think it shouldn't trigger. We'll see if that triggers when we spawn the second time. Oh yeah, we're dealing only 1 damage. Oh, we shouldn't have different information here. We add 1 and 2. And we're not receiving the print string, which means that we're always wait to receive that data. because we're waiting for the dead players to send information, but it never does. Just like if when we actually match players in here, we need to send combat data for the latest died players, and the data are gonna be latest units player list, I'm really dumb. So if we send this here, it adds and it asks if we receive all the combat data, and we did not. We did not, so it won't it shouldn't provoke any bug. Provoke any bug. So what's going on here? We're killing blue. Blue's dead. That's a victory for us. He had 2 units. And now we have blue units, but blue is dead. So we're fine with this. We're fighting dead players, and we don't have errors. And what if we play with 4 players? So I don't know who I'm up against, and that's an issue, but it doesn't matter. Maybe we'll have to do some kind of logic regarding this. So yeah, I didn't want to fight blue here, because blue's gonna win. Oh, 2 players are gonna die, and I didn't want that. Yeah, they both died, so I'm just gonna fight blue by default. I'm dumb. Yeah, I'm up against blue, but we don't want that. We only want to kill 1 player. So we're gonna add 1 guy, and this guy is gonna have a knight. So red is gonna die, and they're all gonna draw, I suppose. Oh no, he's gonna die as well. Oh yeah. So we have 2 dead players. No, we don't. Oh yeah, we don't. Hopefully. But I don't know who I'm up against. So we'll just say that 2 players have their units like this. So red is gonna die, and they're gonna draw. Green and yellow are gonna draw, but red is gonna die. So red's dead. But one of the players should be fighting red, I guess. So yeah, green is fighting red, but red is dead. So that's the latest of its unit list. And green drew against the dead player. That's unfortunate, but that's better. That's way better. So I guess we're happy about how it went. We can wrap up that video already. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.